Hey, good morning. Welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, much as it's nice to come in and look at the stuff that I've almost finished, that's actually looking quite nice. The two workstations as we come into the house, I think I explained that the house has been built in the same way that you might see the design on an RV, you know, in that you come in through the door. There's stuff on the left and stuff on the right and a path right down the middle. Well, there's lots of making good to be able to be done, you know, the finishing stuff which makes it look really nice, and all of those panels will come together with different colours, different moulding that has to go on. I have to make up these pillars, which I'm going to do today, and make them look like something rather than just what they're looking right now. Right, so yesterday we went out and we spent let me see, not much in dollars, but in pesos it's a lot. 16,000, just a tad over 16,000, and for that we got metal stud. We got, I call this channel, but here we went through a big to and fro with me trying to explain what I actually meant, and it turns out I remembered from the old days when I was building this house that they call it track. So got a load of track because I'm going to show you in a second. I'm showing you all the messy stuff today that faces me today. A lot of cleaning up, a lot of finding places that we can put this moulding. You see here that I got lots of half round. This is half round moulding. Look, and what it does is it finishes things. You know, you put that on the edge of a shelf. Still got to be sanded down. Feels quite rough, but you put that on the edge, and suddenly it looks so much nicer. This was all just raw edge, and then I put, and just little touches like this will make a huge difference. I got some of this kind of moulding here, which will go on the edge here. You see, look. And that will go on the edge, and for that we'll get this kind of look, which is very nice, and it finishes off the edge of the thing. I got moulding to put on the edge of this, and the bathroom, disgusting mess. And so now I have to find a place for all of these offcuts. And some here, so it's just loads of stuff. I hate to throw anything away until the job is finished, because I can find a use for it. Now the plan today is that I'm going to clear this daybed. We call this the daybed. In time, in the future, this will actually be a very nice little cushioned area with a mattress on there, and nicely decorated, and of course in a longer future we'll be filling in this ceiling so that it's not so that it's just a plain plywood ceiling. I'm going to find a place for this. This is my tools and everything. Probably I'll put it onto here in some kind of order. At the moment, as you can see, more blocks of wood. I swear that when I go out at night, at the end of the day, the blocks of wood get together and they breed and make more. So I got to clean up and do this, vacate this place, and once we vacate this place and I make this a safe area to walk through for Beth, which is, of course it's not now, I'll come up the stairs. These are tiny stairs, not for big people, only 2 feet wide, which is a tragedy in a way, because I'll never get my my little workbench block step. We made this all into a nice piece of wood. Just got to have the caulking put here. Here's the paneling that I like to put on, and it just relieves a flat surface. The same way that the zigzag moulding on there is. See, so all of this is going to be painted. That's a love seat down there for two people who really know each other, like me and Beth. Two people can sit on that, but they have to know each other very well. Here's the cat who's in disgrace because he peed somewhere he shouldn't. And so this is what's facing me today, is a clean up here. That's a piece of furniture that I made when we first came out here. We needed somewhere to put our stuff. I had the bright idea that everything could be contained in those two sides. The centre part was hanging space for Beth's dresses. On the right is Beth's place for her clothes. On the left is mine. It cannot be overloaded, otherwise it's no good. So that's going to be all for Beth, and I'm going to build a little bit of cabinet work here, plus a headboard, and I am going to change this bed. I'm going to remake the bed because I want this at the moment. As you can see, the mattress just sits on that, which doesn't work out too well because the mattress moves and it creeps down and down and down, and then you're hanging over the edge. We have stuff there which we need to find storage for, and all of that is going onto the daybed so that I can work here in the bedroom. Now the metal stud is for doing, if I can show you by sitting down here. See, so I have to put metal stud framework. If you think of like a grid system using that channel or track, and I'll put that onto the red beams, and then I'll be able to fix plywood onto that. But obviously in between I will be putting insulation, which will make a huge difference to this room, apart from it's beginning to look ugly now. Now the edges will be sealed because I don't want to create a cavity that little birds and things can find a home in. So before I do anything, I have some plain sheet, which is what I'm looking at. That's what they call plain sheet here, the silver metal there. And I bought some which I can cut down into smaller pieces, and I'll section that off before I do the paneling. And all of this hardboard will stay, and I will cut into it so that I can slide the insulation down in between all of those, call them bays, but they're the uprights that form the basis of the room. And you can see the little silver rivets there, and they are roughly 16 inches apart. And then what we're planning, I'm going to put another seated bunk there into this part, something that's almost as long as that window, and that will be more storage. Maybe a little dressing table there for Beth. Not that she's an island girl. She stands up and does whatever she has to do standing up. Over there we're going to put a small, this is where I'm planning on a small AC unit, and I'm putting it there for a very special reason, because outside we have a roof. So in the event that anything does go wrong with that, go out the window onto the roof, which Beth has done many times when she's fiddling about with with our antenna. See, so, and eventually we'll put a lot of guttering up here, because all of this takes a huge amount of rainwater, which would come in very handy. So clearing today, making this so that it can be worked, and once I finish downstairs to the point that I want to come up here, then I'll come up here and I'll finish this bedroom, make the bed, do the cabinet work, and do everything so that we can actually move into this as a bedroom. Now the reason for that is that we can seal this off so that it doesn't suffer from dust. This can remain a work area until it's finished. I have to reupholster this, as you can see. We have all of the cushions are already made for this. This is, as you can see, a built-in couch. We have all of the cushions are already made for those. But I was thinking that I would see big, massive clean up here so that I can get a little more organized. High tech, this is the way that Filipinos do it. I don't try to change everything all at once. Once again, huge amount of mess, no storage. A lot of this is the result of just the leftovers of ballot buy-in boxes. This is one of the biggest ballot buy-in boxes that we had. That's where the fridge goes, cooker, and there's a whole other unit that has to be made for this side of the kitchen. And these are the cushions, which are a little bit cold and flat and square, and so kind of leather, but I'm thinking that I'll have cloth cushions made for that, covers that we can make. We're fairly organized in here. If I were to do this again, I would not do that kind of paneling, because in no time at all it gets very, very dusty. See, look here, you can see, and because the house is moving, the wind, birds, and it's moving. This at some point in the future will be an office for our charity. See, but it has a bathroom. This little interconnecting thing here. I have to turn the lights out. We have lights that go on at night manually. See, so a lot to do today. Piling stuff around, as anybody will know that has done a house. You keep moving stuff around until finally you get a place for everything. This, as you can see, is all panelled and will not come alive until it's painted. And then, of course, at one time this seemed attractive to me. I enjoyed seeing that, but once we realised that the place gets too hot, then it has to be done the same as I've been describing the bedroom. So I will move on, get back to work. It's actually getting late, around, I think around 9:30, something like that, and the job awaits. Thanks for looking in. This is A Foreigner in the Philippines. Bye for now.